Hello, my friend. I think I have possibly one of the most controversial makeup releases of all time. I must say, this is the Too Faced Pretty Mess collection by Erica Jane. Too Faced was kind enough to send me the products. I just got them about a week ago, so I know this has been out for a bit, but I just got the products and I did want to share the collection with you because there are some things that I definitely think that you may be interested in, and there's some things that I definitely think are not worth the money. So if that sounds interesting to you, if you want to learn more about that, hang tight. We're getting into it right now. So like I mentioned in the intro, I do know that this has been out for a while. I just received it in PR and I have been trying it, so I do want to share it with you. The big controversy behind these products is the names themselves. So let's talk about what we get in the collection. First product is always the one that draws my eye the most, which is the eyeshadow palette. So this is the Pretty Mess eyeshadow palette. And as soon as you open it, you see it is kind of a mess in here with the shadows kind of flopping all over the place. And I do believe there was one company a while back, I can't remember which one, that released a shadow palette with the eyeshadows kind of all over the place like that. Can't remember what it was. I'm not even gonna say it. I'll insert a picture if I can find it. So I'm surprised that they went with this layout, but it does go with the theme. In here, there's a mix of mattes, satins, foils, and then there's a glitter shade. So the matte shades are Close Off, Lap of Luxury, Show and Tell, Rich is Better, F Frugal, it has an F, a star, a CK, and then the word frugal, and then Private Jet Setter. These more satin shades are Queen E, Whatever Who Cares, and Party People. Then we get into some more foiled type shades, Sextravagant and So Rodeo, and then Worth Its Weight is a pressed glitter formula. I am wearing that one. That's the glitter you see on my eyes today. We're gonna do a demo. I'll show you the shades that I use and you can see how they went on. The price on this palette is $42. The next one is probably the most controversial product in the collection, the Pat the Puss. This is called a Kissable Body Shimmer, and there's different meanings of puss, some more vulgar than others. So we go to dictionary.com and we Google the word puss. Let's have a discussion. So puss, the number one definition, is a cat, especially as a form of address. You naughty little puss. I'm reading from the dictionary. Or a playful or coquettish girl or young woman, you old snugglepuss. And then the origin is the 16th century, possibly Middle Low German or Dutch, one or the other. And then you go to the second definition, which is an Irish and Scottish term for a person's face or mouth, 19th century Irish. So it could mean other things other than something vulgar. It's possible. I don't know enough about Erica Jane. Apparently there's a dance that goes with this that could be considered to be quite vulgar. I don't know. I haven't seen it. Hello, Editing Jen here. As I was editing, I realized I probably really should look up and see what Erica Jane probably meant by Pat the Puss, and I found this little video clip for you, just in case we have any confusion about what this probably really means.
Clockwise circle with our hips, so we're gonna go roll to the left, around to the front. And when that happens, we're gonna pat the top of the P like she's bad kitty. She's bad kitty. And to the beat, we're gonna go 1, smack, 2, smack, 3, smack. And that's how you pat the puss.
This is the Kissable Body Shimmer with tantalizing sugar cookie flavor. You're supposed to use the puff inside to pat and roll the glamorous rose champagne pigment. I can't get it open. I'm like, okay, there we go, I got it. Okay, so there's the puff inside, and then it's got the rose gold pigment in there, and you're supposed to roll and pat. It even says it on here. It says roll and pat. Show them your sass, pussycat. We're just dancing that edge, aren't we? So you're supposed to put it on your shoulders, legs, anywhere you want to get noticed is the advertisement here, and let's put that back on. So that, it was pretty controversial. There's also this one here, which is a little controversial as well. This is the High Impact Highlighter, and it's called Money Honey. But on the front, it says Too Faced, and then it says, how many F, heart, smiley face, star, $ do I give?
How many do I give?
I do want to let you know though that for the packaging, they did have these warning labels over across them. So if they're seen in the store, you're not going to be able to see this until you remove that outer packaging. I did hear from some subscribers that they did remove this collection from some of their Ulta stores. So I thought that was quite interesting, and it may have been due to the implied vulgarity, let's just say that, of some of the products. When you open it up, there is a $sign inside, and you get 2 shades, so you can target here on the sides if you'd like to get that color, or you can use just the champagne color here, or you can mix them together. I don't know what happens once you get past this color here. I don't know if that's just laid on top, but it does appear to be, once you use up the champagne color, that all that will be left will be this more peachy color. I have used it, both colors by themselves. I have used them together, so I'll be able to give you my opinion on that as well. Next up, we have 3 different lip products. So let's talk about this one first. This is the Too Faced Lip Injection Extreme Instant Long-Term Lip Plumper. And I do have a full review on the regular Lip Injection Extreme. This is supposedly the same thing. It just has glitter in it and it's pink. So I will leave that review down below of this. We're not going to talk about this a whole lot today, but just know that it does create a little bit of a burning sensation when you put it on your lips. There are 2 lip kits in here. One of them is Polite Lips. The other is DSL. Google it if you're not sure. But this one's supposed to be the more natural one, and then this one is the more bold color. So now that we've gone over the collection, let's talk about where you can purchase these things. If you are an international viewer, you can check the individual websites to see their different international shipping rates and whether they ship to where you live. So these are available at toofaced.com, Nordstrom's, Macy's, Ulta, and HSN. Those were the places that I could find it. They're all made in different locations. None of this is made in China that I was able to find. The eyeshadow palette is bulk made in the USA, but it is assembled in the Dominican Republic. That seems to be the same for all Too Faced eyeshadow palettes. The Pat the Puss is made in the USA. So there you go. And the highlighter is made in Italy. Now, my idiot self threw away the packaging for these, so I'm not 100% sure where these products are made, but if I can find out, I will put it in the video description. Cruelty-free status for Too Faced. Too Faced is a cruelty-free brand. They do not test on animals, and they do not ship to countries that require animal testing. Where it does get a little sticky is that their parent company, Estee Lauder, does ship to mainland China, which they do require animal testing for pre-launch items. So a lot of people consider Too Faced not to be cruelty-free because their parent company is not cruelty-free. It's really up to you where you draw the line for your cruelty-free status. Brand controversies, they all seem to revolve around this man. His name is Jared Blandino, and he is the main face of Too Faced. He's not technically the owner anymore because Estee Lauder owns it, but he is the creative director, I guess you could say. He's the one that does all of the designing of everything. He's still very much involved in the brand. And Jared has made some not so great choices, let's just say that. Most recently, he was at a party. It was a launch for the Pretty Rich collection, I believe, or maybe it was his birthday. I don't remember, but that's irrelevant. The main thing is that somebody brought a cake, and the cake said "Rich Lives Matter" on the cake, and that offended a lot of people because he took a picture with this cake like he had no problems with it, even though a lot of people took offense because it did echo the Black Lives Matter movement. Some people found it to be insensitive in that the Black Lives Matter movement is very close to the hearts of a lot of people, and it's a very serious situation for a lot of people, so they took great offense to it. There were also some issues back a while ago with Nikki Tutorials with a collab that she had done with them that supposedly, allegedly, they did not pay her well for that collab. There were some production issues with the quality of the products. There was some drama surrounding that. At one point, there was an Instagram post that Too Faced made. It was kind of a shade to Tarte. They kind of had these dueling, battling unicorn collections, and Too Faced made a comment about there are no unicorns in the Amazon, kind of saying, you know, they did unicorns first, so maybe, I don't know, that's kind of the way that I took it out of it, is maybe that they were saying they did unicorns first, so therefore Tarte wasn't allowed to do unicorns. I don't know. It was super weird, but that was a thing. And finally, Tati Westbrook, who many of you all know from YouTube and or Instagram, she at one point had an issue with Too Faced in that she felt she was mistreated at a brand party, and she was very upset by it, but she's since apologized for bringing that to public attention. From what I know, those are the major controversies. If I missed anything, feel free to leave them below, and I can always add those to the video description if I missed anything that is important to whether you would like to make a decision decision to support Too Faced as a brand or not. Okay, we're gonna go briefly into ingredients. We're not gonna go super deep, but for those that have allergies or are concerned about vegan ingredients, things like that, let's just go into it. The ingredients in the palette, it's a talc and mica based palette. There is carmine in quite a few shades here. Carmine is made from crushed bugs, which some people find absolutely disgusting. It's actually in a lot of eyeshadow palettes. It's a red pigment. So looking at the shades, it's actually in Close Off, Rich is Better, Lap of Luxury, Queen E, Whatever, Who Cares, F Frugal, and Jet Setter. So quite a few. I also know that some people have red 40 allergies. There's only red 40 in one of these shades, and it's worth its weight, which is this one here. Some people like myself, like to tap some of these shades onto the lips. So some of them that are not lip safe, according to the FDA, would be F Frugal, Close Off, Rich is Better, and then worth its weight due to the ultramarines and or ferric ferrocyanide. All of them do, however, appear to be eye safe, because we know that lately there have been some eyeshadow palettes released that are not technically eyeshadow palettes, they're pressed pigment palettes and all this stuff. None of these have pigments in them that are not FDA approved for eye use. The only other things I wanted to mention was the Lip Injection Extreme is mineral oil based. I know some people do not like that ingredient, so I wanted to mention that. And with Pat the Puss, it is mica based. There's no talc in here, but there is sodium saccharin in here, which I know some people have an allergic reaction to, so I wanted to mention that as well. Everything in here is pretty typical makeup ingredients. There really isn't anything outstanding that makes me have any kind of concern or anything that's like warning, you must know about this unless you have a specific sensitivity. Oh, I forgot. Highlighter, talc and mica based. There we go. That was the last thing I wanted to say. All right, now that we've gone over everything, it is time for the swatches. So let's go ahead and get into finger and brush swatches right now. All right, this is the Pretty Mess collection. We are going to swatch everything so you can see everything up close and personal. We're gonna start with the lip products and then move to the highlighting products and finally the Pretty Mess eyeshadow palette. So let's get started. We're gonna start with the Lip Injection Extreme that is in this. It is a bright pink glitter, but as you can see, it's not very opaque. It's just gonna give you a tiny wash of pink with that little bit of fine micro glitter, but you know, it's not gonna give you a huge punch of color. It's more of a topper or just a slightly tinted gloss. Polite Lips has some glitter that you can see within the tube, but you'll see in the swatch that it really doesn't have a lot of glitter once you get it onto the skin. This is the lip liner that goes with it, and as you can see, it's retractable. It does go up and down. Some lip liners and eyebrow pencils and things in that format have trouble going down. This is not one of them. The lip liner is very creamy. It is also very opaque and very matte. Moving on to DSL, this is a very interesting shade, which you'll see in just a second. It's got a bit of a peach shift to it. So it kind of goes from this pink to this like goldy peach, depending on how you look at it. It's actually very beautiful, and it's definitely my favorite lip product in this collection. Here is the lip liner that goes with the DSL lip gloss. And again, very matte and very bright pink this time. All right, let's move on to Pat the Puss, which is the body shimmer stuff. It does smell really good. It does smell like cake. It smells amazing. So you get this puff, and then the product picks up here. And then here is my clean arm. Just kind of take a look at the way that it looks. And then I'm just gonna pat once. You can see there is a tad bit of shimmer there, just a tad bit. And then it does build a little bit. So you can see it if you're very up close, but if I even brush once, you can see that it significantly goes away. It collects a lot on my hand. So this is going to come off on clothing, things like that. And honestly, it really, I mean, and you get in a strong wind, you're not gonna be able to see this stuff anymore, at least on my skin tone. I can't speak to other skin tones. And it wipes off, I mean, I haven't washed my arm and my arm is completely clean. It just takes a little wipe for it to be completely gone. Now let's talk about the Money Honey highlighter. You do get two visible shades in here, but you can kind of go back and forth and make a third shade. So we're gonna swatch 3 different colors. Here's the $sign shade, the background shade, and then we'll do a little mixing. And they do mix very nicely together. And this is gonna be the longest portion because this is the eyeshadow palette. We're gonna swatch this in 3 rows of 4, and we're also gonna do some brush swatches as well. Clothes Off is actually quite opaque for such a light shade, but you can see a little bit of streaking happening with Show and Tell. Rich is Better is a little bit weak, as well as Party People. So let's go ahead and double swatch them to see what happens. That one built very nicely, as did that one. Oh. Got a little chunkiness happening. But you can see they all built up very, very well. That was just a little extra product on the side of my finger. So that's not the product being streaky, that's just the way it was on my finger. So you can see that they do build very nicely, which is actually great when working with mattes, especially so that you can really get the blend that you want. For brush swatches today, we're gonna be using the Sigma E55 brush. You can see it really does pick up on the brush. Beautiful brush swatch. Oh, no streakiness at all there with the brush. Very light for the first swatch there with the brush. Let's do a second one. And it is building quite nicely, but not quite as dark as the finger swatch. I did try my Makeup Geek foiled brush with this shadow, and it did not look great at all. And it actually doesn't look great with this brush either. Actually, I'll show you the foiled brush to show you too. Let's do a double swatch of Party People with the Sigma brush. And this is just Party People, same shade with a foiled, specifically for foiled shadow brush. It's just a very chunky shade, so be careful with fallout on this shade. And if you aren't getting the opacity you want with it, you may want to pat it on with a fingertip because it just doesn't work great with a brush. If you're new to my channel, you're new to the wipe test. We're gonna wipe away some of this extra shadow there first. The purpose of this is to show whether the shadows will leave a stain on the arm. They're not a stain in that they won't wash away with a makeup remover. It's more of a hint to the lasting power of the shadows. It'll also show us the undertones so that as the shadows start to fade, whether they will fade into each other based on the undertone as the shadow, the upper part of the shadow, the more powdery part, fades off of your eyes through the day. So let's go ahead. And you can see they all do last pretty well. I mean, I can even see this lightest shade, which is relatively rare, but you notice that the undertones of these are all very, very similar. So be careful using all of these shades together in one look because through the day it may muddy together a bit. All right, let's go into the second row. I absolutely love this shade. It's a very light pink with a little bit of a gold shift. It's really, really beautiful. The F Frugal shade is quite patchy, and it's patchy on the lid as well. You just kind of have to work with it and blend it in, and you can get it to work. It's just a little bit more effort, where the rest of them are pretty effortless. I really, really love Lap of Luxury on my eyes. Brush swatch isn't coming out so great though. Didn't leave myself a lot of room either. Beautiful brush swatch there for Queen E. Very patchy, but it's blending out the more I work with it. Let's do a second round of that. One thing that's I should definitely note about this particular shade, this is the Whatever Who Cares shade. Kind of like, I kind of care the fact that this looks much more burgundy in the palette than it does on the arm. It's more of a red shade when you put it actually on my skin tone. You can really see the patchiness coming through on the brush swatch here of F Frugal. Let's go ahead into the wipe test. And interestingly, this set of shadows doesn't last nearly as well as the top row, which is quite a bit lighter. These two shades here, the Whatever Who Cares and the F Frugal one, are the only ones that last, and these fade away. And then finally we have our last row. Oh, didn't mean to swatch with my pinky finger. We'll have to see how that works out. Oh, beautiful. Gorgeous. This one's super weird. That worked out quite well, actually. Beautiful. Definitely go easy when you're using the shade. It has a ton of pigment in it, so definitely dip your brush lightly in that. You're gonna get a ton of pigment. These shades do not brush swatch well at all. They definitely apply much better with a fingertip, these foiled shades. And I do have quite a few foiled shades before the constructive criticism Kelly's come out. I have quite a few foiled shades that swatch very, very well with a brush. These are not ones. These work much better. Let me show you the pat. So if you pat them on, they definitely apply better than swiped. And if you're applying these to your lid, you're probably gonna be patting most likely more than swiping anyway. So it's not really a deal breaker for me. Do the swipe first. It's like chunky and getting stuck. Pat, 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 much better. Worth its weight is that glitter shade. Super weird. It's definitely takes some getting used to working with. I do find that using this with like a MAC Fix Plus, so you put the product on the brush and then spray it with a little bit of setting spray, that definitely helps it to apply more evenly. It's just, you know, it's a different kind of formula, so it just takes some different techniques to work with it, but you can see it definitely does apply with a brush. It's just, yeah, it's just different. And then finally, Private Jet Setter, just beautiful. Actually, it is a little tiny bit patchy down there, but I've had absolutely no problems working with this shade at all. Okay, last wipe test. This is gonna make a huge mess. I can tell you right now. Oh my gosh. Okay, so again, lasting power is not very good on these as far as the staining of the skin, except for that last shade, that Private Jet Setter. I'm telling you, it has a ton of pigment in that shade. All right, let's line these babies back up on my now messy table. All right, I hope you found these swatches of this collection helpful. Let's go ahead and go back to the rest of the video. Now that you have seen the swatches of the product, it is time to show you a demo of how I got this look today. It is inspired by the little pamphlet here. I tried to do the Beverly Hills bombshell look here, but then I got bored with it, so I added some glitter. I also topped off my lips a little bit with one of the shadows, so you'll see that in a bit, but overall it's modeled after this look. So if you're interested in that, we're getting into that now.
Pull up in a gold rim Tesla, that's not cheap. Everything I do is electric on these streets. Walk up in the mall like I'll take one of each. It all looks good on me, babe. I always choose the priciest shoes, and I drape my shoulders in purple rags. I never have to try and explain, cause the way I live says everything, everything. Say what you wanna say, I got expensive taste and it's not a fantasy. All of the things I want, you should buy it for me. Bury me in Gucci. Say what you wanna say, I got expensive taste and it's not a fantasy. All of the things I want, you should buy it for me. Bury me in Gucci. Sleeping in late, took the tiger for a walk. Took a selfie in front of my velvet walls. Everything I eat is compliments of chef, and my cocktail is top shelf, it's top shelf. I always choose the priciest shoes, and I drape my shoulders in purple raccoon. I never have to try and explain, cause the way I live says everything, everything. Say what you wanna say, I got expensive taste and it's not a fantasy. All of the things I want, you should buy it for me. Bury me in Gucci. Say what you wanna say, I got expensive taste and it's not a fantasy. All of the things I want, you should buy it for me. Bury me in Gucci. You should buy it for me. Bury that Gucci later. I want that Gucci hat. I want that Gucci flavor. I got that Gucci boot. I got that Gucci paper. I got that Gucci on the brain. Smoking that Gucci vapor. I want that Gucci now. I want that Gucci later. I want that Gucci hat. I want that Gucci flavor. I got that Gucci boot. I got that Gucci paper. I got that Gucci on the brain. Smoking that Gucci vapor. Say what you wanna say. I got expensive taste and it's not a fantasy. All of the things I want, you should buy it for me. Marry me in Gucci. You should buy it for me.
Okay, my friend, it is now time for the wear test. So it is currently 3:20. I've had this eyeshadow on for about 20 minutes or so, 20, 30 minutes. So we will be back at the end of the night to see how this eyeshadow wore and whether this glitter really truly is resistant to fallout. I did not put, like you might have seen, I did not put any glitter glue or anything down, so we'll see how much it falls down. And I may have to take these lashes off though because they're already poking me a little bit and they're driving me insane. So there may or may not be lashes later. We'll see about that. But everything else, we're gonna keep the same, and I will see you in a few hours. All right, my friend, we are back for the wear test results and final thoughts, final review on all of these products. It is currently 11:38 in the PM. Let's zoom in so you can see how the makeup looks. All right, as you can see, I did take off my lashes. I don't know what is up with those lashes. I'm not even sure which ones they are because they came out of my spider box, but they're like curved and they were poking me so bad. They didn't even last 5 minutes after I turned the camera off earlier. So let me go ahead and look and see what's happening. I mean, the first thing I noticed right away is that the glitter is transferred like crazy all the way up to here. It went from my lid to here. Like that's crazy, okay? It's transferred all the way up. I did find that when I did use the glitter glue, it stayed on my lids better, but it did crease a bit just because my lids aren't as taut as they used to be when I was a bit younger. So just keep that in mind when you're using that glitter shade, the worth its weight shade there. When I've used the other shades, I haven't had that problem nearly as much. It's really just the pressed glitter shade. The other ones, the foiled shades, the matte shades, don't have the same problem. What I am noticing though with the matte shades, and it's consistent with what I'm seeing today, is a little bit in the crease, the matte shades kind of fading away, which is not typical of Too Faced eyeshadows. I've never had that problem with Too Faced eyeshadows before, so I think that's super weird. But it takes like a good solid 6 hours to be able to see that like wearing away in the crease. Lower lash line where I put that dark brown is pretty faded, but that might have been from me not realizing and rubbing my eyes a bit. Under the eyes, I do have a bunch of glitter fallout, unfortunately. I believe it's about doubled since when I first did the look earlier today. There was a little glitter fallout I noticed after I turned the camera off, but I did leave it because I didn't want to do anything without you. But there is quite a bit of glitter fallout and it falls to about here. It's not the worst I've ever seen. I've definitely seen worse, but there is some. The highlight is definitely still there, which makes me super happy to see. The lip product faded away pretty quickly once I started eating, drinking, those kinds of things. I didn't expect it to last a very long time, and because it's consistent with what I've had as my experience with these. I mean, they're just lip glosses with a lip liner. I think if it was a lipstick with a lip liner, it would probably last longer. Expect that it will go away kind of all together in one swipe if you use a napkin or, if you're, rubbing your lips or whatever. It fades down very gracefully is what I'm trying to say. The Pat the Puss, I mean, I couldn't see it when I first put it on. I don't expect to see it now. I mean, it's just not there. It was never there. It's not there. Now that we've talked about wear test results, I'm going to give you my final thoughts, final review on this after trying this stuff for about a week. Okay, let's start with Pat the Puss. It's the easiest one. I had it in my favorites and fails video for this past month. It's completely useless on my skin tone unless I use my fingertips to apply it. If I kind of go like this, you can see it a little bit. I was kind of looking for like a Fenty Body Lava kind of situation, and it's just not that, unfortunately. It does smell amazing though, and the puff feels very good. It just doesn't work for me. I would love to know if you are of a different skin tone than me, if this works for you. Let me know because I'd love to learn from you in that way. The lip products. I do like the formula of the lip products. I think that they're a very comfortable gloss. This one is definitely more wearable. I kind of like this one, especially topped over more of a brown or a mauve kind of lip, which is more me than these bright pinks. This one is really, really fun, but it just has to be paired with the right lip. And I feel like that the dark pink lip is not cute on me with this. It just doesn't look good on me. It's just a personal preference. But I do like these on the whole. The lip liners are very creamy. They're very easy to go on. They are a bit dry though on the lips. These lip pencils are definitely not, in my opinion, meant to be worn on their own just because they're not very comfortable at all. Now, the highlighter I absolutely love. I would say this is my favorite product in the collection. The lasting power is fantastic. It's very, very well made. The only thing that I think would be questionable would be if you've got kids around like I do. This is something that, you know, I'm gonna have a little explaining to do if they find this and be like, Mommy, what does how many F heart, smiley face star $sign do I give mean? How do I even explain that? I don't even know. But the highlight product itself is very good, and I do like that there is a mirror in here. And it does say in here, I didn't mention earlier, it says not one, Erica Jane, and then you can just peel this part off, which I'm gonna do and use the mirror because the mirror is great. So yes, yes, yes on the highlighter, absolutely love it. And I actually really, really like the eyeshadow palette as well. I don't like the design of it, but that's really honestly my only complaint about it. The glitter shade is for a glitter. I actually kind of like it with glitter glue. I mean, at this point, glitter on me, chunky glitter like this isn't going to work as well just because of the creasing on my lids. It's just part of the aging process. So I probably personally will stick more with the other shades in here. The mattes are easy to blend, long lasting power. Same thing with the shimmers and the foils. They're just a really, really nice formula. And if you can get past the design of it, if you don't enjoy that like I don't enjoy it, then I think you'll really, really like the quality of the shadows in here. They're very good. And just to touch on the Lip Injection Extreme, if you don't want to go and watch the full review of it, it's very, very slightly plump your lips over time, but it's really not like any kind of surgery kind of situation. It is quite uncomfortable to wear at first, but the pain kind of dissipates after a short period of time. Let me just put it on my lips for you just so you can kind of see. The smell is super weird. It feels very oily. Right now I'm fine. And then, you know, about 10-15 seconds in, I can feel a little bit of tingling. This one actually isn't as bad as the Lip Injection Extreme that I had tested as far as the pain level. So I have a feeling because of that, it probably won't plump as much as the original, unfortunately. But I mean, I can definitely feel like almost like a cinnamon hot tingling on my lips with it, but it's really not bad compared to the original, to be completely honest with you. Purchasing these, what I would invest in would be these two products only out of the collection if I were going to actually purchase it with my own money after trying it. At this point, you know what time it is. It's your turn in the collective brain of makeup awesomeness, where we help each other not to buy crap and to buy things that are totally worth it. Please let us know your thoughts about this collection down in the comments below. What do you think about it? Tell me your thoughts. I really want to know. And if you're reading down there and somebody helps you, give them a thumbs up. Let them know you appreciated their comment. Little things in this world really do go a long way, even if it's just hitting a thumbs up, telling someone you like something that they wrote. And speaking of that, if you enjoyed this video, don't forget to hit the thumbs up for me. It really helps me a lot with visibility on YouTube. The more engagement, more comments, more likes a video gets, the more YouTube likes to share it. So I really appreciate that if you enjoyed it. Also, if you choose to share this with a friend, that would be wonderful if you think that they'll benefit from it. And if you're not already subscribed, make sure you subscribe before you go. But before you go, YouTube should be recommending a video for you right down there for you to watch. Another video of mine, if that looks interesting, go ahead and watch it. I think that you're really, really gonna like it. And if not, we will see you in the next video. Mad love to you, and I will see you very, very soon.